Yeah, Dustin, let's start with you. Just talk about that last drive. I mean, it was one of them days where, a lot of things just didn't go right. You just kind of grinding out there, but, when you really needed to make some plays in that last drive, you did.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the character of our offense and our team right now. Obviously still working some things out early in the season and kind of got to get some things going sooner rather than later. But, when it comes down to time like that, the guys find a way and we kind of rely on each other and just find a way to get it done.
Not the huge one. You got a 3rd and long, and you kind of bought some time and hit poke. Just talk about that play.
Yeah, it was actually a broken play. It wasn't exactly drawn up that way. But kind of just playing on the fly there a little bit, and kind of just trying to find my playmakers and let them make plays for
me. You had some guys open deep. It seemed like you're just missing them. First of all, what do you see? It seems like you're just getting hit a little bit right at the end of those plays, just not quite hitting those. What's going on from your angle there? And then just kind of talk about shaking that off, like I said, and making plays when you really needed to there at the end.
Yeah, like I said, that's kind of just constantly got to continue to attack that, iron those things out. When we get in close games like this again with, even better teams down the road, we're gonna have to make those plays. We're gonna want to win those games. So something we're gonna have to continue to attack at practice and continue working on.
AJ, the defense all year have been, forcing turnovers, man. And today, when you really needed them, you certainly got them. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's something we emphasize in practice. We did it all fall camp, and it's not like we just come out to games and create turnovers. It's something we're doing in practice.
Talk about the pick. It seemed like you were really deep dropped, and maybe he didn't even know you were there.
Yeah. I dropped out, and the pick is a combination of guys doing their job all game. I was just it was a good call. We were in the right call. The coaches put us in a good spot, and I was at the right place at the right time.
Just what's it mean to this defense? The offense has done so many great things. The defense has had its moments, but yet to just kind of come out here tonight and have 2 huge stops and create a turnover in the last several minutes when you really needed to win a game.
Yeah, it's something we pride ourselves on, getting stops when we need to.
What was kind of the feeling of you guys? Like, I know obviously the celebration, that type of thing. Just it was, what did it feel like as a defensive player to make those plays and come out as, kind of together? How did it feel?
It felt good, but like I said, that's been something we've been doing spring ball, preseason camp, and then in practice every day, and now people are just starting to see it show up on game day.
Let's go over to Jack Brody from TV2. Do you have any questions for Dustin or AJ?
Yeah, Dustin, you had a lot of success on the ground today, 93 rushing yards. Is that something you go into the game looking to do, or how much of that is improvisation on your part?
I would say a little bit of both. At times when things break down, you kind of just got to use your feet and try to extend plays, whether it's for down the field or just trying to make sure you're not taking sacks in that regard. There's always things where sometimes if defenses give us certain looks, there's some design runs or all the zone reads and all that kind of things that people talk about. So a little bit of mix of both, I would say.
And then AJ, you guys were able to shut them down when it counted. They didn't score in the 4th quarter. Just how were you guys able to shut them down so well in the 4th quarter?
I think it starts with the coaches putting us in the right spot, and then guys just performing. Like I said, it's something we've done all week at practice. We had a really good week of practice, and something we did all camp and then all spring ball.
Let's go over to James Oswald from the Kent Standard. James, do you have any questions for the guys?
Yeah, Dustin, what does it mean for a quarterback, to see your defense? Sorry about that. Dustin, as a quarterback, what's it like to go down, score like that, and see your defense make 2 big stops like that? What's that mean for an offense? When your defense can go out there and continue to do things like that.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. It's a team game for a reason. It's the reason it's the greatest team game is because no one can do it by themselves. No one passer to the team can do it by itself. It takes 3 phases, and that's what it takes to win games, especially in tight games and conference play. It takes all 3. So to be able to kind of go back and forth and give each other some energy and rely on each other and make plays and be able to feed off that is huge and a big part of the reason we were able to win today.
You guys obviously have a lot of depth at running back. Can you kind of talk about, I mean, you included, can you kind of talk about, Marcus Cooper, Xavier Williams, what they bring to the team and what's it like for you guys to have so many good options at running back?
Yeah, I mean, they all have different skill sets, which is awesome because we can utilize them in different ways. So to be able to have those guys and be able to keep themselves fresh by being able to use those two, and then even Brian and Joshim Bangda as well, to be able to use all those guys just to keep each other fresh and attack defenses is huge. And like I said, just being able to use them in different ways also just makes us even more versatile.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you get into action play here. You guys know how it goes every single week. Anyone can beat anyone. You're gonna have to scrap and fight and find a way to win. Our kids did that today. It obviously needs to be cleaner. There's things that we need to improve upon. But I tell you what, I'll take the win, and we'll learn from a hard-fought victory. And I love the resiliency of our team that we've shown, through the first 5 weeks, that we're going to fight and we're going to find a way to finish, and we found a way to win. And good teams, that's what they do. We've talked about the past couple of weeks about some of our opponents. I tell you what, it feels great to say that about us, that we found a way to win and finish the game the right way in all 3 phases. There's some really great highs. There's some things that we need to clean up. Tell you what, that's why we got coach in front of our name. That's why our kids work so hard. We'll get better. And thank the fans for coming out. Unbelievable environment. Looking forward to getting this thing packed and the corners filled next week for the first ever primetime action football game on a Saturday.
Let's open it up for some questions. Let's start with Alan Moff from the Record Courier. Alan?
Coach, your defense, 2 stops in the last few minutes and then that huge turnover that sets up the winning drive. I mean, just talk about that effort.
Yeah, heck of a job by them. I mean, you look at the numbers, they kind of speak for themselves, right? They tried to rush the ball 26 times. They only got a total of 55 rushing yards. Huge effort there. That's where it starts. Got to find a way to stop the run. Our guys did that. We're very opportunistic. Again, generating turnovers, winning the turnover battle. That's huge. And then when it came down to crunch time, we've been talking about opportunities, learning from the opportunities that we've had, learning from those moments where we can capitalize on. Our defense did that. Obviously, a great way to finish it. It's always a great feeling then when you're able to play complementary football to where we can flip the field, get a stop, and get the best freaking offensive play that there is, tight victory formation out there to ice the game and stay undefeated at home.
I thought, 2 guys in particular had huge plays there at the end. Obviously, AJ with his pick. Talk about that. And then Aiden Huntington had he forces the fumble that ends the one drive, and he had a huge sack right before, I believe, the interception.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Muzzy's played a lot of football for us. He's a very, very smart player, knows a lot of different positions, and is able to step up in a big-time way. He did a great job disguising that look, getting right where he needed to be, and capitalizing and making the play. Awesome to see. Aiden Huntington, young guy that's developing within the program. He's flashed from times, and he did that again. He's got the ability to run. He's got some twitch about him, and it's great to see him step up on a big stage, compete at a high level, and make some really, really game-changing plays. That were very impactful.
Flip to the offense. I know you had some shots downfield that you just didn't get. You were real close, a little bit frustrating at times, I guess, at least from watching it. But yeah, there at the end when you need one, Dustin steps up and makes some huge plays.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Dustin does, right? We've come consistent that he's going to be resilient. The team's going to take on characteristics of his leaders, and obviously Dustin's, leads us and is the straw that stirs the drink offensively. So our guys continue to fight. Dustin continues to fight. I mean, shoot, at times, he looks like a World War II veteran that just stormed the beach in Normandy with the way he's bandaged up, bloodied up, and all those different things, but he just keeps fighting and finds a way. It may be frustrating to you, but to us, it's the way. Those obstacles and those challenges and finding those connections, we just got to keep working through that. No one jumped on their bike and learned how to ride that thing the very first time. You're going to fall. You're going to stumble. We got some new guys in some new places. We'll continue to work through. We'll continue to iron it out. And that's the beauty of this process. And again, the way that our kids fight and the way that they finish, I tell you what, that's who we are. It's who Kent State is. It may not always be pretty, but we find a way. We're blue collar. We're going to find a way to get it done. Our kids did that today.
Let's swing things over to Jack Brady from TV2. Jack, you have any questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach, just talk about the offensive line today. You guys had 293 rushing yards. You also didn't give up a sack. Just talk about how well they played today.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've been able to build competitive depth there. I go back to our first spring, and we dressed out 5 offensive linemen, and I kind of chuckled to myself to where, that game was only going to last as long as those big boys up front did. And that characteristics of their resiliency, their fight, their toughness, was established that first spring. And that's never left. Coach O'Boyle does a fabulous job leading those guys. We got a ton of competitive depth, so we're able to move guys around, play a lot of people. And again, the proof's in the pudding with the work that they do. And it was great to put the onus on them. We got to halftime. It talked about what we need to do differently in the red zone, which has been the $1 million question. And at the end of the day, we got a bunch of big guys up there that played the game the right way. And we're able to lean on some guys, and run and finish the right way in the red zone in the second half, which ultimately was the difference in this game.
And then just talk a little bit about the defense. I know you touched on it earlier, but you guys shut them down in the fourth quarter. They didn't score in the fourth quarter. You had 3 forced fumbles, 1 interception. Just how are you guys able to play so well and force Bowling Green to make some tough plays down the stretch? And you guys just
Yeah, I mean, we pride ourselves in the fourth quarter, right? You see us all the time. We throw the 4s up no matter what the situation is. We want to win the fourth quarter. We want to go harder, longer, be a tougher team mentally, physically, and wear out our opponents. And our defense did a great job with that in the fourth. Shut them out. We're able to fly to the football. Again, we put a huge emphasis on straining and giving great effort, relentless effort to the ball. If you pursue the football, all of a sudden you get really, really lucky. And good things happen. So where the ball's out, you're able to create fumbles, you're able to create takeaways. And again, that's something that our kids have bought into. It hasn't been coach speak. Kids have made the conscientious choice to act with discipline in that regard, that no matter what is going on, they're going to run to the football, they're going to give relentless effort. And because of that, there's great outcomes that are happening.
And then last one for me. Coach, you mentioned it. You got to clean some things up, but just what does it mean to not play your best game, but you guys still come away with the victory?
Again, I tell you what, as you go through this, each week is an obstacle. It's a journey. It's a challenge where you grow and you define who this team's going to be. And if who we're going to be in conference play is that we're going to fight, we're going to compete, we're going to find a way to win, even when it's not pretty. I tell you what, sign me up for that, right? Like that's what it's all about. That's what life is. It ain't going to be pretty all the time. It ain't going to be clean all the time. That's the beauty of what this game is that it teaches valuable life lessons. Our kids have unbelievable toughness. Mental and physical toughness, what they've gone through, what they battled through with the non-conference schedule, and where we're at here as we got back home. Unbelievable atmosphere for homecoming. It's a beautiful stage. It's great to have so many people here. I think we touched 20,000 if I'm not mistaken. If not, we got to get over that as we go forward. Again, for a great primetime game. And it's awesome to see that the hard work that our kids are putting in, that each week, the stage kind of elevates, gets a little bit brighter. And next week, we got a great opportunity to showcase the whole university and what a special place we got here in Northeast Ohio and what resilient young men we have in our Flash Fast football family.
Let's go over to James Oswald from the Kent State. Do you have any questions for Coach?
Yeah, Coach. Matt McDonald has become one of the better quarterbacks in the MAC this season. Can you guys talk about what it was like to face him and how you thought your defense performed against him?
Now, they were very opportunistic. Looking at the numbers, he was 29 for 46 with an interception. I'll take it. They're doing a good job building that program. Keep coming.
You're, on the one drive, early on in the game was Marquez Cooper, as your kind of primary running back. But on that one drive into the end zone, Xavier Williams was a big part of that drive. Can you talk about your running backs and just, what makes them so deep at that position and what that kind of does for a team when you can rotate guys like that?
The number one thing is that both those young men, everyone in that room is incredibly unselfish. If they were selfish individuals, it wouldn't work. And so those kids do an unbelievable job every single day, knowing that the strength of the room is all of them together. It's kind of that old poem about wolves. And you guys know me a little bit with wolves, like it's kind of my spirit animal now, right? The strength of the pack is the wolf, right? And the strength of the wolf is the pack. And that's very much what that room is like. It's very much what our team is like. Everyone checks their ego. They drop the E so that we can G-O, go. And it doesn't matter who's getting the ball. Those guys do a great job. They're each other's number one cheerleaders. And as long as we find a way to win, say what, everything's good.
And then last one for me, Dustin wasn't always hitting on the deep balls today, but he really makes some things happen with his mobility. Can you kind of just, talk about how he creates opportunities for himself like that?
He's wiry. It's kind of slippery. Don't quite understand it, but he finds a way. Maybe it's that engineering degree. Maybe he understands angles better than I do. But he does a great job extending plays, keeping his eyes downfield, does an unbelievable job creating and seeing completions. It's quarterback's number one job, create completions. Sure, Peyton Manning threw a lot of wobbly ducks and ended up in Canton, that were touchdowns. It always didn't look pretty, but he got the job done. And again, I tell you what, if it don't always look pretty, I ain't here for style points. At the end of the day, we're 1-0 in conference. I'll take it.
We've got Rob DeFranco from the Morning Journal. Rob, do you have any questions for Coach?
Yeah. I know this year you guys, entered the season as one of the favorites in the East. Is this kind of game you're expecting from everybody this year? You're going to get everybody's best?
Absolutely. Right. The standard's been risen. The bullseye's on our back, and we're the hunted, not the hunter. It's a great spot to be. It challenges us to be at our best day in and day out. Luckily, from day one, our standard's been to improve and perform today. That's what Be the Alpha is. So everyone can come and give us our best shot. We welcome it, and then we embrace it. I'd rather have the expectations heaped upon us, right, than no one expected anything from us. That means we're doing things in the right way, and that means we're continuing to elevate our program. We're continuing to grow day in and day out. So loved it, embrace it. It's a great stage to be on. It's a great place to be here at K-State University.
Yeah, this is the last one I got. I know you talked about it after the VMI game, those 15-yard penalties. Just what are you guys going to do to kind of clean those up? You had a few of them today that kind of hurt you guys at some key points.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to where first and foremost, we got to give ourselves a chance to win. And when you have those big chunk penalties, we had 9 for 90 yards today. That's not the standard. We got to clean that up. That's something we can control, be more disciplined in that area. But again, we found a way to win. And so I'd much rather teach some lessons after an ugly victory, right, than teaching some lessons out of a tough loss.
Yep. Appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Last call for final questions for Coach Lewis. All right, Coach, we'll let you have some of that good, clean American fun. Celebrate homecoming a little bit, and we'll do it again on Monday morning at 11:30 as we get ready for Buffalo.
Sounds good. You guys all do the next thing the right way. See you on Monday. Go Flashes.